What's going on, guys? Warfare Messiah here, and welcome to Battle Report Episode 7, the first jet fighter. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going, well, actually, Warfare Messiah, the first jet fighter was the Messerschmitt 262. Well, if you had said that, you would be wrong. That's not true. Many people think it is because it's the one that was actually used in action, whereas the British kept their Meteors back to deal with V1 rockets because they were one of the few aircraft fast enough to keep up with the V1 rockets and shoot them down or wingtip them, as I'm sure many of you new British pilots ended up doing.
Warfare Messiah, you're full of shit. Messerschmitt 262 for the win.
So anyway, that's enough of me rambling on. Let's get to the battle. Okay, so I climbed to, well, a decent altitude, and then I noticed 4 American aircraft. And I don't want to tangle with these guys, because my aircraft's better than a Bearcat by a country mile. Is my aircraft better than 4 Bearcats? No, it's not. So I dive out the way, pick up speed so they kind of keep up with me, and I'm going to go for one of these 2 Bearcats that are low down because they're low. I have a height advantage on them, I'd have a speed advantage of them, there's not 4 of them, and I have an ally in the area. So, it's a good idea. I actually originally choose to try and aim for the left one, but as you'll see in a second, he gets shot down just before I get there. There we go. So I now have to change to my other one. Because I'm going so fast, just even switching my wings was a lot of G's. So I then try and get a target on this next one. It's quite hard because I'm going so fast, my nose is all over the shop. And when he pulls down, I know I'm just not going to get a shot, but I try anyway. So I fire off a few rounds, and they're actually not, they're near misses, but at the end of the day, near misses are still misses. So I didn't get any hits there. I tried to pull round to see if I can take him out, and then my pilot just can't handle the G's because I'm going so fast. I see the Bearcat there. Can I turn sharp enough to hit him? No, I can't. So the next thing I do is I use my speed and I pull up away instead of bleeding all my energy trying to kill this Bearcat, which can so blatantly outmaneuver me. I took the wrong approach. So I'm now going to climb back out of there and wait for my opportunity to shoot this guy down. Alright, okay, I've got a little altitude back, and then this Bearcat dives on the tail of one of our Spitfires. And guys, this is a good hint for you. The easiest time to shoot a plane down is when it is trying to shoot a plane down. And I want to save my allied Spitfire, so I dive on him as quickly as I possibly can and open up with my amazing gunnery skills, as you can see. If you hadn't realised that was sarcasm, I lose a bit of my discipline, gun discipline there. I go a bit trigger happy. I spend more rounds on that air kill than I probably would have wanted to. But it wasn't the end of the world. And then I look at my fuel and I realise that I don't actually have much fuel left. I'm going to have to start heading back. So I do. And that is when I turn around and notice an American jet fighter, the P-80, giving our boys a bit of trouble down there. So I decide, well, throttle up. I've still got about 3 minutes left. Let's try and take this guy out before I have to head back. So I get on his tail. I dive to gain as much speed as I can so he doesn't get away from me, because the P-80 is actually faster than the Meteor, but the Meteor is more durable, has a better armament, and is more maneuverable. So, but the thing is, speed counts. Speed is everything in jet combat, if you guys don't have jets yet. So I get after him, and he does start to pull away from me. Like, he's getting further and further away from me. And I thought that guy would distract him, but he didn't. He just crashed. And then for some peculiar reason or other, he starts to pull up. He could have just completely outran me and managed to get away. And this is his fatal move, because this is when I open up and finish him off. Now, there was the money shot. Now, my fuel is getting pretty low now, so I have to land. There's an airfield there, but because this is our secondary airfield, it doesn't have any AAA defences. It doesn't have the OP laser guided flak guns like all the other bases seem to, which means that the presence of this enemy fighter has to be dealt with before I land, and I am rapidly running out of fuel. I have only 1 minute's fuel left, and I have to get rid of this guy. I have to take him out. And that is when I notice a friendly aircraft shooting him, chasing him off, and he's going to run away. And I seize the chance to land. I put my air brakes on, gear down, and flaps down, just to slow down as quickly as possible. Actually, before I put my gear down and flaps down, I go around one more time because I am going still a bit fast. And at this point, I've only got about 40 seconds of fuel left. And now, I lower my flaps and gear and get ready to land and get back into the fight. So, I'm coming in on a bit of a funny angle, and I'm coming in quite fast. Luckily, thanks to the air brakes and the fact I'm quite a heavy aircraft, the Meteor can slow down very fast. And I'm still coming in a tad fast, but it's okay because I've got quite sturdy landing gear and I put it down nice and gently. So the landing goes quite smoothly. And I'm not really damaged, so that's good. And this is when I get a surprise. I didn't think I'd been damaged that much. And then I get a soft landing award. You only get a soft landing award if you land a critically damaged aircraft. Well, what was wrong with my aircraft? I honestly don't know. But anyway, I've got to repair, rearm, and get back into the fight ASAP. Alright, okay. So I'm powering up and I'm taking back off again. And I don't know who's left. I don't know what I'm up against. I just need to get into the air. So, there we go. Now, I need to see what I'm up against. What aircraft do the enemy have, and what aircraft do we have left? So, I see that we definitely have a Meteor because there's one landed just after me. So he's on the airfield. And the enemy ground forces, or the AI ground forces have captured, or capturing A. And that is when I notice a P-80 right above me, and it makes me quite uneasy because I don't quite have the altitude or the speed to deal with him. So I try to get as much altitude as I can while he's mucking around. And all the while the ground forces are capturing A, which means we can't win unless we completely destroy the enemy airfield, which isn't going to happen. Or we shoot down all enemy aircraft. So I know now that our only hope of victory is to shoot down all enemy aircraft. So I'm keeping my eyes sealed on the P-80 so that I know if he makes a move, I need to do something. And that's exactly what he does. He's coming for me. So I brake, I swoop under him using my superior maneuverability because he cannot maneuver with me. And he overshoots. Now I pull back round to get back in the fight. Now, the P-80 is much faster than the Meteor, which means he's gone. He's out there. Now I just have to sluggishly go after him and hopefully get him when he comes around again. I have a cheeky look at the scoreboard and realise the Americans have 3 aircraft left and we only have 2. Me and my friendly Meteor, which means because he's on the airfield, I am currently the only allied aircraft in the air. So I go after this P-80 while it's still a one-on-one, because I don't want any of his mates to show up. I want to take him out as fast as possible. I want to take him out while he's alone in the sky. So I keep following him because he's heading in the direction of our main airfield, And remember those laser-guided flak guns that I was talking about before? They're not really laser-guided, by the way. I'm just saying that in a form of satire because they're so overpowered. But anyway, he's going to have to turn back or they're going to kill him. So I just need to keep following him and wait until he turns back. And that's just me admiring my decals, I guess. And this is it. He's turning back. So I'm moving in. So this is quite risky. Going for a head-on, and I send a few shots off. I get a little hit on him, but he gets a little nick on my fuselage, but nothing really bad. And that is when I notice the F-84. Now, the Meteor is quite evenly matched with the P-80. The F-84, however, other than its armament, it's just a better aircraft. Well, it's a better aircraft than this Meteor in any way. And I have a P-80 and an F-84 trying to shoot me down now. So I'm in real trouble. I decided to focus my attention on the P-80 because he's going after my friendly Meteor who's just arrived. And this is the first time I see my friendly Meteor, and it's quite a sigh of relief because I think I'm not alone anymore. So I had terrible trigger discipline in this game. I fired so many shots that missed. So I come round to try and get a hit, and he's dodging and waving, but I'm actually catching up with him until he straightens off, in which he does straighten off. And this is kind of just a high-speed pursuit because he knows if he manoeuvres, I will eventually get him on one of the corners. So this is the only thing he possibly could have done. I get a really big critical hit on there. You see a bit of his aircraft fall off. But the only thing he can do is attempt to run away. There's nothing else he can do, because if he manoeuvred, I'd eventually get him. So I keep firing my guns at him, hoping I can finish him off. And I'm not getting any hits. And he's doing an occasional dodge and weave, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to hold off the trigger until he feels secure and he starts flying straight again. Because you'll dodge for a while after someone stops shooting you, but eventually you'll probably straighten out again. But now he's getting quite far out of gun range, so I fire a few shots, a few last hurrahs, and I get a hit. And I'm seriously running low on ammo now, because I have spent a lot of ammo, and that's when I notice that the enemy F-84 is on my tail. My friendly Meteor wasn't taking care of him. That's not his fault. The F-84 is much faster than him. So, you see, there goes my mate. He's just been outrun. And now, I've taken quite a nasty hit to my left wing. So, I'm going to try and make it back to my airfield, assuming the F-84 isn't chasing me. And I don't think he is. So, with a damaged wing and a damaged left engine, I make my way home. Okay, so as I'm making my landing approach, it's just quite a decent landing approach, even if I do say so myself, I look back. Ah, that bloody American has followed me back to my base. So gear up, engine throttle up, and I get my speed going again. He overshoots, and off he goes. And he can't stick around because of the flak. But because I had to avoid his little gun run, I try, but I can't slow the aircraft down enough now to do this landing. I'm going to have to go around the whole way. So that's what I'm going to have to do. With a damaged plane, this might not go well, because normally if you muck up your first landing with a damaged aircraft, you're not going to get another chance. But I have to try anyway. So throttle back up, and my engines are just groaning. They're not actually giving me much form of thrust. So I try to push forwards, and that is when the P-80 I critted before crashes, which means the enemy only have 2 aircraft left, the F-84, and I believe it was a B-29 that was also left, flying around in the stratosphere somewhere. So what I do is I can't afford to venture too far out, so I turn to the right, and I keep my throttle up because I lose speed when I turn to the right because my engine power is seriously diminished. And even though it looks like my left engine is on, it's not giving me any form of power. so I'm relying solely on my right engine. So flaps down, air brakes down, and I'm coming in quite hot, but you know what? Sod it now. I have to make this landing or else I'm not going to make it. So I come in and then it looks like I'm getting the speed about right. I actually speed up a bit so I don't fall down, so I don't stall even. Be more technical warfare messiah. Come on, goodness me. And I come in for my landing. And our tickets run out. Even when I've done a nice little landing and I could have got back in the air, I could have had a tangle with that F-84. And that happens. The enemy AI have prevented us from finishing what could have been a very, very good and exciting game. But never mind. From what was of that battle, I thought it was pretty okay. So this is Warfare Messiah, and I will speak to you in the next video.